Victor Arvidsson is a Boston Bruin, and Stan Bowman's campaign to undo the ills of Jeff Jackson's July 1st, 2024 continues as that Arvidsson deal just did not work out for the Oilers. $4 million, nothing retained. And hey, look, Edmonton gets a 5th-round pick too. Now, for the Bruins, it's interesting. Arvidsson's older. He obviously is coming off an injury. Can, in his prime, or at least could in his prime, score you 50 points a year. But it was a steep fall last year and not a great look. It's an interesting bet by the Bruins. I want to start there because I know Edmonton is the bigger story here. Victor Arvidsson, $4 million, 32 years old. You probably can bet that he bounces back at least a little bit, but only 27 points in 67 games. Guys, what does he bring to this already aging Bruins roster?
Well, I mean, this is the most important summer of his career already. The season before this one, he only played 18 games. 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. It's a really good player.
Yeah.
You didn't get all of him in Edmonton, and I'm already seeing at Oilers fans dancing on his grave like, oh, fare thee well to your slap shots from the boards and falling down when no one's around. And I know he didn't have exactly a spectacular playoff. He had his moments, but wasn't all that good in the final either. This is a player who can still play. You just are making a bet that he's going to return to form. Like, can he become more than a third of a point per game player? Can he return to being half a point a game? I don't think the Bruins need to do a ton to recoup value from this $4 million deal. And if Victor Arvidsson was an unrestricted free agent today, the way contracts are going, I wouldn't be shocked to see him walk away with
He might
$4
get a
million.
Jake Allen 5-year, $1.8 million contract.
I mean, he gets something goofy,
Yeah,
right?
he probably would.
I don't
He probably
think
would.
4 is not all that unreasonable in this NHL economy, but it is too much for the Oilers. They can't afford this.
Jesse, let's talk about just the Bruins angle on this, and then we're going to get to the Oilers. Steve, it's like Steve's in the starting pen, like a horse ready for the door to open, talk about the Oilers. So let's talk about the Bruins part first.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the makeup of the Bruins so far? I know it's an incomplete picture, but they were sort of a haphazard group of pieces last year with McAvoy and Lindholm healthy. Where do we think this Boston team really is?
It still feels like they're that, right? It feels like there's still a haphazard piece of pieces. It doesn't feel like they've built a complete team here. I wonder if Arvidsson is a chip to trade at the trade deadline once this team realizes what they are at that point. Like, I don't know if once again the Bruins will get back to the playoffs. I saw
His career playoff numbers are very solid.
Right, but I don't think the Bruins coming out of this season are going to look at themselves and say we're guaranteed to be back in the playoffs in the Atlantic. There, the Atlantic's tough. Like Montreal and Ottawa are on the come up again. Detroit's looking like they're really going for it this year, and then you got Toronto and Florida and Tampa. I don't know if Boston's a playoff team, so this feels like they could move off of this deal at the trade deadline again.
That's why it's the perfect deal. What did they get again? A 5th?
They spent a 5th, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. They spent a 5th. You're going to recoup a lot more than that.
Exactly.
You know what? You know how awful of a season he would have to have, especially you end up retaining half like you did on Marchand. I know that, they're obviously 2 different players. I mean, you're going to end up getting a second for this guy. Maybe a 3rd and a 5th, something like that.
Right now for an Edmonton team that needs to dump salary, you get to be the facilitator of that, take on that $4 million, and then you have the ability to either move off of it if you're not good or keep him if you are good and everything works out. It's a great deal for Boston in that respect.
So obviously Edmonton needs cap space. Steve, you want to talk about the Oilers. What do they need it for? What are they doing? What are they doing today?
Well, okay. So they just signed Evan Bouchard to quite the deal, 10.5 per for 4 years. Now, looking again around the league, 10.5 is downright reasonable. Like, you look at his playoff numbers since 2022, since he came into the league, he's already, I believe, top 25 all time in scoring by a defenseman in Stanley Cup playoff history. He's 25. Like, it's completely absurd. They still need to get Corey Perry under contract. Supposedly he wants 2 years. Jeff Skinner, I'm going to go ahead and assume, is going to walk. And I think you want to bring back Connor Brown. Now, getting rid of Arvidsson probably allows you to do that.
Yep.
4.55. Would the better move be to have a little cap space, let it accrue over the year, and then you can take a real big swing at the trade deadline? Can you take that real big swing at the trade deadline? Because in 2026, you already don't have your first. I don't know. I would like to see them try to get better now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in net, to me, is the big question mark for them. Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, everyone's talking about how, the Oilers are really just going to run it back. They might run it back going forward. Because both those guys are eligible for an extension today if they wanted to give it to him. I don't think you give Calvin Pickard an extension a year ahead of time. You might do it for Stu.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blind spot for Stan Bowman for sure. He's being real stubborn about this.
Interesting stuff. I am curious to see how the Edmonton Oilers get better. And guys, I just wonder if Connor McDavid is enjoying his Canada Day. I hope he is at the cottage or wherever he's hanging out.
He's got a big cottage up here in Ontario.
Okay, so he's gonna enjoy that at his big fat cottage in Muskoka.
Massive thing.
I bet it is. I bet it's like just a complex with multiple buildings. But he's probably watching this a little bit going, all right, do I sign that extension? Or do I make him work for it a little bit more?
It's going to take some time.
Yeah. And we won't know until the end of the summer, but I think this kind of plays into it, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by the way, this just came across my email. So Puckpedia obviously has the Bouchard extension. The Bouchard extension is out there. But the official NHL free agent list under Edmonton still has Evan Bouchard. So maybe they haven't filed it with the league.
Hasn't fully registered it.
Which is...
That's okay. It's done.
It's very
Yeah, that's fine.
It's done. Deal's done.
Maybe that email was drafted like before it was done.
Yeah.
Well, I got it now.
I feel like I don't know if that matters.
And maybe the Oilers are waiting to see, okay, let's see what we can get done. We know we got this deal in the hopper with Evan, and we'll make some signings, and then if we have to make more trades, we will. I'm glad you added that, though. The email says,
It's on Puckpedia. I think it's done.
I think it's done, too. I just think it's very interesting. We saw cap gymnastics between the Leafs and Golden Knights and when they announced stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, I think this is done.
More reading Steve Dangle's emails when we come back on SDPN's free agency coverage.